thought it'd be kind of cool to talk a little bit about the process of getting samples for your Amazon products, the way that I do it now versus the way that I used to do it when my business was a lot smaller, because things have obviously changed as my business has grown, okay? So I thought it could be kind of cool to talk about the difference between those and to give you some insights into what I used to do and why I used to do it that way versus what I do now and why I do it that way now. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going. So, samples. Well, clearly you need samples. So samples are a massive part of your Amazon journey. That is your ability to suss out from your suppliers what the quality of the goods that they're going to send to Amazon for you are like. That's what that's all about. And typically what I like to do is I start with 20 or so companies. Let's just say they're in China, just for ease of chatting about it, all right? Companies in China that I've approached to get a quote from. So I've started the conversation with 20 to 30 different companies, okay? By the way, I outsource all of that. I didn't used to, but as my business has grown, I outsource that now. So I start that conversation. And 20 or 30 of them come back to me, and depending on how they respond, depending on what goes on, their minimum order quantity, what their initial prices are, what their own particular setup is, things like that, I'll narrow that down until I'm left with 5 to 7 companies that I'm interested in chatting more to. And then we chat to them. We have a conversation with them, typically on something like WeChat or something like that. We have a chat with them and we just kind of suss them out. Hopefully they will give us a little tour of their factory, and that can all be done on a video chat. Super easy to do. You will be amazed how few people do that, and you will be amazed at the difference it makes if you do that. You will have a really awesome understanding of their factory. They will see you, they'll eyeball you, vice versa. It's good, it works. Anyway, after that, what I like to do then is narrow it down again until I'm left with 3 factories that I'm interested in getting samples from for my product. Now, 3 samples to get them all shipped from China to Australia, depending on the weight and the size of the product, that will dictate the cost of doing that. Because when you're getting samples sent over, you get them sent over air freight on an airplane, obviously. And air freight is calculated predominantly on weight. And then volume is a secondary thing. Versus sea freight, which is the opposite. It's predominantly volume and not weight. But obviously an airplane, it's flying, weight's important. So it's predominantly calculated on weight. So depending on what you're ordering and the weight of that product, within the AOE community, I have seen a range of, let's say, 30 to 100 US dollars per sample in shipping costs using something like DHL or FedEx or something like that, okay? And if you've got 3 samples coming from 3 different factories, then that's 3 times, let's say $50, $150 just in freight costs to get your samples, which is a lot, and I totally get that. So at that point, what you can do is use a sample consolidation service, and there's plenty of those in China. There's plenty of them in any country where you're going to source from. There's a service that will do sample consolidation for you. It's a very popular service. In China, you might send them to somewhere like China Division, for instance, who will do that for you, and the Chinese manufacturer will send the product via their overnight postage service to the sample consolidation service. They will bundle all of your samples together, and then they'll air freight the samples to you, and you'll save 2 out of the 3 freight charges to get your samples sent over. So that's one way of saving money, okay? And that, of course, assumes you want to eyeball the samples, you want to see the samples, you want to be a part of the samples. And to begin with, that's a good idea. I believe that's a good idea. For no other reason than it makes your business real. It'll make your business real. It's super exciting when your samples arrive, and I think it's a really cool thing to do. You'll feel a lot more connected to your product. Phase 1 is that. Phase 2, your next phase of development, will be, instead of getting your samples sent to you in your home in Australia, what you will do instead is you will get your samples sent to a sample checking company. And instead what will happen is the sample checking company will get your samples, and then over a video chat, they will open your samples, and you and the sample checker will go through them. You'll look at them together. You'll look at the quality together, all over a video chat. Now, that's the next phase of that. But that is important as a phase because you will become very, very quickly in your Amazon business, you will become the block in your business. Your ability to get shit done will become an impediment to the growth of your business very, very quickly. And you will have to start outsourcing shit in your business more and more and more as your business grows. I'll give you a little example. This is the example that kind of broke the camel's back for me, okay? I was traveling from between countries, and we had been in this one particular country for 3 weeks, and we had another week to go before we were going to go back, okay? And samples had been sent to my home just before, well, just as I kind of arrived. Samples got sent to our home, and the house sitter we have sitting our houses, she received the samples, and they were sat there waiting for me. So it was a month between the samples arriving at my house and me being at my home to actually open the samples and go through them. Now, I calculated out that month of me being away actually cost me $10,000 in sales by not having my products on Amazon selling, because they were $10,000 a month products, okay? Ultimately. So it ultimately cost me $10,000 for me to take that holiday and not get my samples. As soon as I realized that, I knew I had to make some changes. I knew I had to outsource it. I also knew it would not be as good as me seeing the product, but $10,000 is a lot of money, and it just made a lot of sense to do that. And now I don't even look at my own samples. I have somebody who goes through the sample process, and for the most part, we just trust the sample checkers that we use. Again, you will very, very quickly become the bottleneck in your business. As soon as you become the bottleneck, you've got to get yourself out of that job and get it outsourced. It won't be as good as you doing it, but it will make you a lot more money if you do. Hope that makes sense. Do you have a sample service you recommend? Sample checkers is good. Sample checkers. Hang on. These guys here. Now this is a guy called Shane, who's a lovely guy. That's who I use. Shane's awesome. Fantastic guy. Yeah, lots of people saying Shane's awesome. Shane is awesome. He's really, really cool. Sometimes a little bit slow to respond because he gets so busy. I think the buying power that we have in the Aussie online entrepreneurs very, very quickly means that the people that do a good job, little burp there, that we do a good job for us, very, very quickly become extremely busy. And because AOE members, there's a lot of us, and so we quickly overrun them, and their systems implode, and they have to rebuild their systems based on the new business that we're sending them. So if he's a little bit slow, cut the guy some slack. He'll do a really good job for you. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales have used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.